Okay, so today's work is phylogenetics, and we're using the NOVA website to learn about um, different aspects. So, the first mission on here is the um, training tree. So, let me get it up here also. Is this the right one? Oh yeah, they just changed pic. There we go. Okay, um so in this you are going to build a tree and learn about evolutionary possibilities, how a mushroom can be related to a dinosaur, which you might, that you are related to a worm, which is crazy. But we're going to learn about it. So let's look at the video. Oh no, we watched this yesterday. We watched, so we're going to play the game. And how do you play the game? This isn't. Why is this? Oh, yes, I had to answer that question. Sorry. And let's sign in with our Google account. And I'm going to sign in with the Google account. And we're going to play the game. All right, so here we are. Um, so visit the deep tree, and it says start here to grow your fractal tree and track your progress. All right, so we're on mission 1, training trees. And as we go along each day, you're going to go further and further. So I'm doing this one on a video and one for you guys. So here we are. Let's training trees.
An evolutionary phylogenetic tree is a depiction of how different species are related to each other.
We'll start with just one branch, which represents a single species, like cushion sea stars or human beings. The top of that branch contains all the individual organisms of that species, so all people or all cushion sea stars. If we travel along a branch back in time,
you come to common ancestors of species when two branches come together.
Now, let's roll time forward instead. This split point represents the evolutionary moment when common ancestor species diverged into two distinct species, a process called speciation. As time goes on, you get more splitting, more species, and more biodiversity, until you get a tree that looks something like this.
It's a hierarchical arrangement of how those organisms originated and who they are more closely related to.
A tree isn't a literal timeline, but it does show the passing of time.
More ancient branches occur deeper in the tree, and more recent splits occur closer to the tips.
For each puzzle in this lab, you'll be organizing a collection of species into a tree. Start by using the magnifying glass to learn about the organisms. Explore the species screens and the comparison screen to track down the characteristics or traits that different groups of species have in common. Now, not all traits are useful for analyzing evolutionary relationships, but not to worry, we've made sure to give you mostly informative ones. After you've gathered the information you need, build your tree by dragging species icons and then traits into the center of the screen. In general, the more closely related the species, the more traits they share. Deeper branch points connect species that are more distantly related and have fewer traits in common. When you position a trait, that location on the tree corresponds to the common ancestor where that trait first arose. Earn up to 2 leaves in every puzzle, one for completing the tree and one for getting the quiz question right. The more leaves you get, the more complex you can make your fractal tree, which tracks your progress through the lab. After you finish each puzzle, you'll unlock the next one or open up a whole new mission, and you'll discover something about the living world pulsing all around you.
Okay. So I am going back here, and the first question is, what is a phylogenetic tree? So it reveals forms of life and how they're connected. And the split point, let me go here, is where speciation happens. One group diverges from another. So we did speciation last week with the finches, which Arlene, you can watch that video. And you'll see that we had, 8 different types of finches, and they all came from one original finch, and they diverged from it. All right, so now we are going to go to level 1 here. Here we are. Red, green, and gecko is we are going to be building our first tree. So when we move on, and these get more complicated, I'm not sure I'm going to do them with you. I will work with you, but I don't think I'll do videos because I think it's a matter of you doing trial and error. And I think you can do them. All right, so let me hide this and hide this. All right, so you can see, you can't see. Let me put it up here and make it big. You can see we have a palm tree and a gecko. Everybody knows what a gecko is? Little lizard. And it says, drag these 2 species into the center of the screen to start building your tree. All right, so here I go, palm tree, gecko. Now they are side by side. Palm tree, gecko. Oh, did I not move it in the right place? Yeah. Oh. I have to tell you. I'm recording.
Okay. You remember LeRon, right?
Yes, I do.
Let me tell you how he had texted me. You know he go with Kilo.
Yes, I do.
Well, he had texted me like, "Oh, can I do his hair or whatever?" Because he got this. I was like, "All right, when?" He was like, "You can come to my house." I was like, "Okay." And then that's when he was just like, a whole bunch of sexual shit, and I was like, "Oh, nah, you're bugging." And then he was like, "Oh, I'm single. Me and Keela not together no more. We just friends or whatever, whatever." But Keela's my friend.
Right. Good. Stay
Like,
that way. Stay away. I gotta go. I'm recording. All right. So now the trait you see that they share is cells with nuclei. And oh, good. Wonderful. So we are going to move it onto the tree. Do you notice there's 3 points? 3 circles. 1, 2, 3 that we could put this trait. But because I think they share it, I'm going to put it down here. So let's move this over for you guys. So I'm you see the circles? Okay. And it tells you, good job. You have successfully built your first phylogenetic tree. Both the gecko and the palm tree have cells with nuclei. All right, so let's go back to our questionnaire. So it says, this lab uses the term cells with nuclei, but what is another vocabulary term for a cell that has nuclei and membrane-bound organelles? Do you know that answer, anybody? I do. It goes back to when we studied the cells. All cells with nuclei are yes, there you go. Eukaryotic cells. Oh, I didn't mean to go down. Is an animal or a plant closely related to fungus? Well, let's see we're going to see anything in here. Let's say next. And back over here, we're going to say next. Here is another species and 2 more traits. Click the magnifying glass to gather information. So if I click the magnifying glass, I want to know about this fly. How do you say Agaro mushroom? So click the and let's look at the fly Agaro mushroom. It has cells with nuclei. It's heterotropic. Hetero means multi, remember? It obtains nutrients by eating other organisms. Although people native to Siberia use this visually striking fungus, now remember all mushrooms are fungus, as a hallucinogen. Certain forms are quite poisonous. Many fungi absorb carbon by breaking down dead and decaying organisms. I think we learned that. Fly organo mushrooms grow in close association with living plant roots, providing nutrients in exchange for carbon. Okay. All right. Interesting, huh? So, So we're going to drag this on to here. And it's not, come on.
It's 12 months.
Oh, what?
I want the last question on what you're working on.
Oh, good.
I got a question. What do they mean? What do all species have in common? What do they mean when they say what? What do all 5 of the species have in common? Like which species? I'm wondering on the thing. Where do I find the species at?
Well, the gecko, the palm tree, the mushroom, each one
Very
is a
exotic.
species.
Very exotic.
Hold on, you're going too fast for me. Hold on, I gotta move this baby up. So I am saying it is more closely related to the palm tree than the gecko. So now I gotta put the traits. Photosynthetic autotrope would be the palm tree. And heterotrope, we learned, is the mushroom. And something is wrong. What is wrong? What have we done wrong with our tree? Oh, maybe they're both. Maybe I put it here. All right. So you see I'm stuck right here. So maybe I put this at the wrong point in the tree. Let's move our, maybe it's more, a mushroom is more closely related to a gecko. What's the matter with my gecko? Are they both heterotropic? Oh, I guess so. They're both, we just learned something. I'm taping. We're both heterotropic. Can you imagine a mushroom's more closely related to the gecko? Oh, here. All right, so now that you've completed the first puzzle, answer the question. Is an animal or a plant more closely related? What did we just find out? We found out that an animal is more closely related. So what is an animal? Oh, so the animal is the answer. And now we go on to part 3 or 2. Part 2. So all animals, including geckos and people, and all fungi are more closely related than to plants. Isn't that interesting? So let's go on to the next one. Oh, this is longer than I thought. So familiar faces is our next category. And let's look at our questions. Use the magnifying glass to define these terms. All right. So stick insect. This tropical and subtropical is a master of disguise. Have any of you ever run into one of these? I screamed my head off.
What?
The stick. Oh, let me put it.
You mean a pokey thing? Oh, oh my gosh, and elementary school used to always bring the things in. I'm like, how cute it is. It's like a stick.
Was running through, doing a shortcut through the woods, and one got on me.
Oh, hell no.
And I was screaming my head off.
Oh, no.
Even though I know it's innocent and.
Yeah, that's weird looking.
Yeah. So it's unique camouflage because it looks like a stick. Instead of having a backbone like other insects, it has a hard outer covering known as a exoskeleton. Some stick animals can grow as long as 12 inches. Yeah, this one was definitely 12 inches. All right, so what's next? Oh, snakes. This is the king snakes. It's an ammonite, it's a vertebrate, and displays a bilateral symmetry. All right, bilateral symmetry means if you split yourself in half, your right side is identical to your left side. This snake has king in its name because it eats other snakes. It also eats birds, eggs, rodents, and lizards. Don't mistake the non-venomous red and white king snake with the red and yellow king snake. Interesting. All right, so by the way, vertebrate. A vertebrate, let's copy this definition. And we go back here. So goldfish breathe with gills. Their poop is dangerous. So bilateral symmetry we've got here. And Annamite, where is our Annamite answer? Did I miss it? We have our goldfish, the snake, the stick. Here it is. Annamites. Let's go here. And describes the vertebrate, so animals with a backbone, whose embryos develop inside the set of protective membranes pictured here. These membranes help reptiles and birds lay their eggs on land. We also are ammonites because we produce eggs.
Some of us can't.
Mammals are supposed to, and we're all mammals.
Miss Cole, you think mammals can be infertile?
Yes, of course.
Oh, wow.
So, ammonites, so we have the definition now for that. All right, so, what I'm about to say is I need to make more time for these because, this is taking much longer than I thought. All right.
It's not because it's because you're doing that video, doing that thing.
Okay. All right, so we need to build a tree. I would say the dog is at the top of the tree, and then goldfish next to it, king snake, who knows, oh, all right, no, but I want the stick. All right. King snake branched off, or would the fish be first? Fish, snake, dog. So they're all ammonites. No, they're not all. So let's bring the dog over here and put the ammonites here. Does a snake have a backbone? You see what I'm telling you about playing around with this? And I think the goldfish.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Somebody switch schools.
What?
Who switched schools? Somebody switched schools, right?
Not that I know of. Vertebrate, bilateral symmetry. All right, they all have bilateral symmetry. And we know that the stick does not have a backbone. I think maybe all of them have bilateral symmetry. Yes, they do.
And who we talking to?
The video.
Oh, no, is somebody else in the call?
No, but in case somebody needs help.
Oh.
All right, so, really? Fish do not. Let's see. What am I missing on the dog? Dog. Oh, I guess the dog goes here with the snake. Ah, finally, we got it. All right, so the animals in this puzzle, and you see how it took me moving around quite a few times because I've done this with 2 other classes, and I don't remember from time to time what goes where. So it's just a matter of moving it around and finding the answers out. So the animals in this puzzle look different than what we thought, right? But I'm glad I taped it so we know the right order. So what trait is common for them all? Oh, sorry, it's on this screen. It is that they all have bilateral symmetry. And you remember what that is? Bilateral symmetry. Cut yourself in half. You're the same here as here. All right. I am going to save this right here, and we will continue tomorrow. All right. Stop here.